Hello and welcome to another episode of Celebrating Southbridge. I'm Ron Angelo, the Southbridge Town Manager, and I'm here today with a really wonderful guest, our Airport Manager, Ron Plouffe. Ron, thanks for joining the show.
Well, thank you for coming by, Ron. A lot of improvements here at the airport, and I think that everybody be pretty excited to see everything that's really happening around here.
You know, Ron, I'm really excited because you're right. The airport has changed a lot, and it's really, really beautiful. Today we're in the administration building, and we're in one of the hangars. You can see behind us the airplanes and stuff. Tell us a little bit about the new administration building and why that's so important to our airport.
The Mass DOT Aeronautics Division, about 4 years ago, planned to do all 39 general aviation airports. They were either going to renovate or they're going to build new administration buildings. Southbridge, fortunately and unfortunately, from the tornado, lost all of our buildings and a lot of damage up here. So we were on the first 5 group to get the new buildings. Most of the money comes from federal money, FAA, and Mass DOT. We had some insurance money left over, so we built this beautiful hangar with that money.
You know, Ron, one of the things that I know is that the state is trying to get a lot of these small airplanes away from Logan. So they want to improve airports around the state so that, you know, they don't have the smaller planes interfering with the big airliners and stuff going on. This is a beautiful airport, and I see it's a lot of small single engine or double engine planes. Tell us a little bit about the types of planes that come here at the airport.
Well, surprisingly, we even have small jets in here. Most small airplanes are single engine, as you can see. We have several twin engines that come in here, and a lot of turboprops come in here. They have jet engines, but they're prop airplanes.
So, Ron, one of the great things is this administration building is really awesome. I know you have an airport manager's office. We have a flight school in there. We have this beautiful hangar that we're in. That takes, I think, about 4 airplanes right in this building. It's all insulated. It's indoors to protect the airplanes. And you also have a little kitchenette, and you have some beautiful conference rooms. So tell me about why this is such a big asset for our community and how this building is used.
The conference room is a very big asset to this building and the town. Russell Harrington has used it a few times now for their sales meetings, their national sales meetings. There's a group of archers that are nationwide that have used this conference room for a weekend for their annual meetings. And it's available to anybody. We get $50 a day. Very, very efficient.
Well, it's really nice because you have the TVs there and they can hook in their electronics or computers right to the TV and do demonstrations or presentations right there in the room. And it's really a beautiful space overlooking the airport so people can look out at the airplanes and stuff. You know, this is such a wonderful family environment here at the airport. I see all the time, you know, parents bringing their children up to look at the airplanes. And we have a diner here at the airport. I know it's beautiful, and we're going to be doing a separate show on the diner. But the diner is a place where I think pilots come from literally all over the state to fly in here, have lunch, and then they fly back out. It's part of just the enjoyment of flying. But that diner's been also really, really busy, and how has that gone?
Well, actually, this past weekend, Saturday and Sunday, they actually had a waiting list to get in there. It's been so busy. Sunday wasn't a very good flying day, so there weren't a lot of airplanes coming in. There were a few, but not many. But Saturday was a very good flying day, and there were airplanes all day. So this airport is, I think, mostly used. A lot of businessmen that own small airplanes and different private individuals who own small airplanes. And it seems to me that this is more a pure sport, more enjoyment for people. It's used a little bit for business purposes, but mostly is this individuals who just love to fly? No, actually, there's a group out of northeast Massachusetts called Angel Flight, where it's private pilots that arrange flights for families where children in particular are sickly and they need to get to a hospital somewhere other than Boston or Worcester or Southbridge or in the local area. For example, we had a little cancer patient 2 years ago from Sturbridge, and she went to White Plains, New York for treatment. And a group from there flew to Southbridge, picked up the family, brought them back to White Plains, did the treatment, and then brought them back home at the end of the week. That went on for months. Fortunately, I think the little girl is doing fine today.
You know, that's really, really great. And it's nice to see that this is used for a lot of things, both for enjoyment and for important things like that. One other important aspect is people actually come here to learn to fly, right? And I know you have a flight school in the building. Tell me a little bit about the flight school and how is that added to the amount of people that come to the airport and the benefits to the airport?
Yes, we have an excellent flight instructor here, Kevin Norby. It's Norby Aviation. They came from Marlboro. He brought in one part-time person already, and he's looking for a second. I'm sorry. He has 3 airplanes, and it seems like every day he's got somebody new that's coming to take lessons. And surprisingly, a lot of females are signing up to take lessons.
So if a citizen wants to learn how to fly, this is a great place to do it. They can come up and meet with, it's a Norby Aviation, what's it?
Yeah.
Norby Aviation. Come on up here and see what it costs, and you can go through the whole program with you. I know he's got a great simulator. I think it's pretty brand new.
yeah.
He built a simulator. So you can, before you ever get up in the air, you're simulating on electronic equipment so you can really learn. It's like a in-air experience right there in the ground. So it's kind of a nice way to start. And I think you have to learn a lot about meteorology and about weather and when you fly as well.
Absolutely.
So that's really exciting. So it's great to have that service here at the airport for people that want to just get into the pure hobby of it. You know, tell me a little bit about the hangar. We're in this beautiful hangar. We have 4 planes in this. I take it this is different because I know you have tie downs that are outside, but this is a little bit special for people that want to protect their airplanes. Tell me a little bit about this. This is actually part of the administration building, correct?
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about this and why this typical hangar is really important.
Well, back, as I mentioned earlier, the tornado took away several buildings. The building that we're standing in now and where the administration building is was severely damaged with the tornado. So I had to remove that building, take it down to make room for the new building. The old office that I was in was very small, built in 1946, had some open T-hangars where they were individual, but they were not completely closed, and a tornado blew all those away. And we lost 18 airplanes and one other complete hangar from that tornado. Now, even though we've got this beautiful building, we were still 6 spots short from pre-tornado time.
You know, I know that there's a lot of people that have used this and there's a real history behind this airport. It's really great that people have an option if they want to come up here and they want to learn to fly or they want to keep their airplane here. There may be a possibility of some of the hangar space, or you can just tie them down, which obviously is a lot cheaper if you want to tie down your airport. It's a great place to permanently locate your plane, but also just to come in and out of. It's a great location to stop, like I said, and have lunch at the diner, and just, you know, if you want to take a cab or whatever and go down to Sturbridge Village and enjoy some of the tourist attractions in Southbridge or in Sturbridge, it's a great opportunity for you to do that. I want to encourage all the moms and dads out there to bring your kids up here.
Absolutely.
We really want to highlight the excitement of this airport and how really, really nice it is. It's really, the history of this has been a tradition with Southbridge residents who love to come up here and have breakfast. But really, I know when I was a kid, I loved to watch the planes take off and leave from my local airport. So tell me a little bit about the history of the airport.
Okay, back in the 1920s, there were 3 farms on top of the hill up here, the McKinstry family, the Clements family, and I apologize for not remembering the 3rd family, but when aviation was starting to get very exciting and everybody started to get involved with aviation, they all donated a portion of their property so that we could have this airport, and donated that to the town of Southbridge. Then back in 1946, the FAA got involved and put in a lot of money into this airport to improve it to where it is today.
You know, it's interesting. The State Department of Transportation and the federal government invested heavily in this airport. We constantly, from a town thing, we get these grants that come in is like an 80 or 90% grant, and the town has to kick in a little bit of money. But most of the money comes from either federal and state resources. One of the things that we recently did is the apron, which is where all the planes park. That was completely redone, repaved, new tie downs were put in there, so it looks absolutely beautiful. The administration building, again, is brand new. It's just been built in the last couple of years. It's a gorgeous building that the residents could, if they want to rent spaces for, for the convention area, the conference rooms, you can do that. Again, it's a great place to just come up here and bring your family to. So there's a lot of positives. This also is a potential source of economic development. Having an airport attracts people to Southbridge, attracts people to the area. There's a place to store their planes and stuff, but also for some odds and ends, if you want to fly in for a business meeting somewhere, you can do it. So tell us a little bit. I know you recently got a report from the State Department of Transportation about the economic development benefits of an airport. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Okay, sure. Now, this report involves the whole area: Charlton, Sturbridge, Southbridge, Webster, Dudley, and this report is done every 5 years. I have just received the new one, and the total impact of having this airport here is $6.2 million. $3.3 million is direct for people coming in here and paying rent, or going to restaurants or hotels, go to the flea market and spend money. There's a total of approximately 57 jobs that are affected by this. And then there's a multiplier. So all that money comes in, and then all these people that get the advantage of getting some of this money re-spend it. So now that's another $2.8 million. So we end up with about $6.2 million impact, total impact.
You know, Ron, that's really great, and it's positive for our community. And one of the things that people want to know is who owns the airport. First of all, the town of Southbridge does own this airport, and it's run by our airport manager, and he's supervised by a airport commission above him. The annual expenses for this airport is actually from the revenue brought in by this airport. So, we sell gas up here. They have some leases for the hangars and stuff. That money goes back into paying the annual operating costs. So taxpayers aren't paying for that, although taxpayers do invest some money in the infrastructure, right? So if there's a 80 or 90% grant to fix an apron, the town might invest some money for the infrastructure components of it. But mostly it's pretty much self-sustaining. Your salary is paid by the revenue generated by the airport. So taxpayers should know while this brings that over $6 million in economic benefit, it's not all paid for by citizens as a result of what happens up here, particularly gas. I think gas is one of your big budget things, right?
Yes, it is.
People fly in here, they get
Yes.
gas, and the value of that gas actually helps runs the operations.
That's correct.
We also have a brand new fuel farm coming up. So
Yes, we do.
why don't you tell little residents about that project? This is one of the capital projects coming up to replace the gas tank up here in the fuel farm. Ron, why don't you tell a little bit
sure.
about that?
In process is transferring the old fuel farm, which has a 10,000 gallon underground tank, which is at its end of its life. So it has to come out of the ground anyway. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to move it closer to the runway. So when people get off the runway, they'll be able to fuel up much closer, and it'll be much more visible and more accessible. We're going to go from an underground tank to an above ground tank, and the area will be set up for 2 tanks. So what we'll be able to do, we're going to sink 1 tank for the regular fuel, and then the second tank space will be optionable. We'll see what happens as far as traffic and the need. If we still have more need than we have now, we'll put another avgas tank in. If we get more jet and turboprop traffic, then we'll put in some Jet A fuel. So that'll be in the future. It's a $700,000 project, mostly paid by FAA and Mass DOT.
See, that's one of the great things about an airport, because the federal government and state government both want to invest in airports for transportation, for all the benefits that are done both on a state and federal benefit, that they invest a lot of money here. So that's really, really good news for the town of Southbridge. And we get all the benefit of that. Even though we invest smaller dollars, we get the benefit of all the federal and state investments. So that's great. Again, I want to talk about kind of just a quick oversight again, right? So we have a beautiful airport up here. A lot of smaller planes fly in and out, and they come in just to enjoy the whole experience of flying. It gives them a place to go. Having the restaurant here in Southbridge is a huge benefit because people come in to fly in and have lunch. So the restaurant people make money. There's some more tourism coming into town. Often people will fly in to go to the Brimfield Flea Market or fly in to do tourism in the area they fly in. Another way to generate revenue for the town. We have the beautiful airport facility for the pilots to enjoy. There's companies out there. If you want to rent a room at the airport, it's a great place to rent some space for a conference, a small conference. That's here at the airport. So a lot of great benefits. There's tie downs for airport people. We have a manager who's been working his tail off to get state and federal grants to make improvements to the airport. So I want you to know on the town's behalf, we appreciate all the work you've been doing with the FAA and for the state government to get money in to make the improvements. We've come a long way. This
sure
airport
have.
has come a long way from where it was. So I
Yeah.
want to thank you for that improvements. Even the groundkeeping is much nicer. And why don't you give a little plug to the Airport Commission, the guys that are involved in the Airport Commission who work for free to help make this place successful.
I do get a lot of volunteering time from the Airport Commission. These guys are just as happy about what's going on up here as I am. And they're very much interested in getting in and helping with me. In the summertime, we have this place looking like a golf course. Fortunately, because of Mass DOT Aeronautics Division, we have all the equipment that provides that luxury to us. We certainly want to thank you, the FAA and Mass DOT, for all of their help. There also is a new project coming up, Ron, that I didn't have the opportunity to tell you about.
Oh, this is going to be good.
This is a good one because it's a free one. Last winter, the frost kind of took a toll on the taxiway on the north side of the runway, and a lot of cracks opened up on us. So they were planning on doing a crack seal program like they've done in the past. However, I received a phone call a couple days ago and from Mass DOT, and they said, Ron, we're not going to do the crack seal program. I said, well, what are we going to do about all the cracks? Oh no, he said, the good part is we're going to call it an experiment. We're going to do a milling job, so where all the millings go back into a machine that mixes and then is immediately laid down and rolled down, and we should end up with a taxiway that's good for another 10 years. And I said, okay, now what's the cost? He said, the good part is that the cost is free. He said, we love you people in Southbridge. You're always doing something to make this place better. You're going to get money before anybody else will. So it makes us pretty happy.
You know, that was great because I remember when we were up here looking at the apron, I brought the guy from DOT over to the actual runway and told him about the cracks, and we were talking about it that day, and he was saying, oh, well, we'll look at the cracks. So it's great. It's come a long way from our discussion. So that's really, really good. Again, I want to stress to all of you watching this show, we would love to have you come to the Southbridge Airport. Again, it's at the Red Baron Diner. What's the name of the diner?
Red Baron Diner.
The Red Baron Diner. They have delicious food up here. A gentleman named Jim, who owns an ice cream shop in Sturbridge, actually runs this diner. He's got great new staff that are working with him. You want to come up and enjoy some breakfast. I think he's actually doing lunch and he's doing dinner on certain nights.
Thursday night and Friday night, he's open till 8 o'clock, and they change that menu every week. So there's specials.
So bring your kids up here. Come and enjoy a day at the airport. Anybody, again, if you're out there and you're having an interest in aviation, you want to learn how to fly, we have a great aviation school here, flight school that will teach you how to fly. If you have an airplane, you want to locate it here, we'd love to have you.
We have plenty of room.
We have plenty of room for you. And you can see, you'll see on this video, some of the beautiful airplanes we have here. This is a great asset to our community. It's a revenue generator. It really benefits in terms of economic development in the area. Ron, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank you for your hard work. I appreciate it. And thank you for giving me a chance to share with the people of Southbridge a little bit about this airport.
Thank you, Ron. I appreciate it. I do a lot of tours here. I just did another 2 this weekend. If your kids are interested in aviation, or you are, I'll be happy to take you around. Usually that's on the weekends. So just look me up. I'll be in my office.
Great. Thank you very much. Hey, there's an actual address to this airport. What's the address to the airport?
220 Airport Access Road.
220 Airport Access Road. Again, would love to have you, and thank you, Ron. Again,
Thank you, bud.
appreciate it.
Thank you, Ron.